Super Mario World, created in 1990 by Nintendo and directed by Takashi Tezuka. The game was made for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES. Like other games, Mario has to save Princess Peach from King Bowser by going through Dinosaur Land and battling a multitude of enemies and bosses throughout it. Hey everyone, I'm Zero Creation, and today I will be going over why I believe Super Mario World is the best Mario game. Super Mario World has sold more than 20 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling SNES game. It also led to an animated television series of the same game. It has been re-released on multiple occasions on different consoles throughout the years. It has multiple power-ups through the levels, like the iconic Super Mushroom and Fire Flower, along with the legendary Super Feather. It has 7 main worlds and 2 special worlds, being the Star World and, well, the Special World. The game follows after Super Mario 3 and is considered as Super Mario 4 in Japan, and not only does it follow Super Mario 3 in name, but it also uses many famous mechanics like sub-bosses in the world map. In World 1, named Yoshi's Island, there are 4 main levels, and then World 1 Castle. But there is also the introduction of an interesting mechanic introduced in the level known as Yellow Switch Palace, where you can activate all the yellow blocks around the world so you can access more areas that you couldn't have before. In Stage 1, which is to the immediate left as you enter the game, there are various enemies like the Rex and the jumping piranha plants. This level is like super chill and is a great intro into the series as it eases you into the mechanics you should be expecting from there on out. In Stage 2, we get a new enemy called the Monty Moles, which are extremely annoying as they pop out from the walls and follow you, so just remember to stomp and crush their skulls. We also get a chance to use Yoshi in this stage, and Yoshi is a great platform to use whenever you need. Now, while Stage 1 and 2 are similar in terms of vibe and enemies and stage layout, Stage 3 is completely different from both of them. The player is first tasked to climb up some platforms and then jump from swing lift to swing lift in a hope to not fall into the void so you can make it to the next stage. If you activated the yellow blocks beforehand, you luckily have a platform of them below the swings to catch you, but if you don't, you may have to abandon Yoshi to get across. Because, as I've said, Yoshi is the best platform. Stage 4 is a water level where you have to jump from platform to platform to avoid falling in the water where there are multiple mines, but you also have to watch out for the Cheeps jumping from the water trying to hit you. In the castle, for the first section of the game, you have to get over multiple pools of lava by using screens that you climb on to get over. There is also an auto-scroller part where giant mallets try to crush you, and then you fight Iggy at the end by stomping him off the platform you fight on. But he doesn't die, as we have learned the Koopa family is fucking immortal. This first part of the game is iconic, with the soundtrack being so as well. The vibe is a perfect overworld vibe with some slight variations in Stage 3 and 4, as well as the castle being an easy intro into how the castles will be like in the future. Now to the second section of this game, named Donut Plains. The Donut Plains has 4 main levels, a ghost house, a green switch palace, a castle, and 4 secret levels. The main levels are similar with the exception of level 2 being an underground side-scroller. The first level has a secret exit where you can go to the Star World, and level 3 gives you access to the ghost house. The ghost house has a secret exit leading to an area where you can get access to every single power-up. Let me tell you, bruh, this is the most visited level every time I play. Somehow, I always lose my feather. Now, the ghost house here is also extremely iconic for something else, and because it's so complicated. The reason why I think being complicated is fun is because you honestly, first time you go through, you don't know where to go, and sometimes you might even run out of time. And I think that's pretty fun considering how most Mario games you could just go straight through without having to worry about pathing. Now we also get our first proper water level with you being underwater navigating around Cheeps and other such fish. At the very end of the map, you can enter Morton's castle and battle him. The level is an upward scroller, which is seen heavily in later games, especially New Super Mario Bros. This section is specifically memorable because I would always go to the top secret area, as I said earlier. The music in this section is also amazing, with it being my favorite theme so far. I mean, just listen to it. It's heat, bruh! After winning, you get to move on to the third section of the game, aptly named Vanilla Dome. Most of the main levels are underground levels, with the second main level being an underground water hybrid. But the third main level, Vanilla Dome, is my favorite because it was the very first time I ever saw the Bone Coaster. But Vanilla Secret 3 is also an amazing level due to the flying whales, which were always pretty fun. In this section, you can activate the red block by completing the red switch palace. At the end of the section, you can fight Lenny, but the only bad thing is that the boss fight isn't really that creative or fun, and we'll see that a lot more later on. There is also a side castle where you fight underwater and dodge skeleton fish and giant ball and chains, and end up fighting 4 Reznors before being able to access the next world. This section was still pretty memorable, with it having some great levels, but they also have bad level being Lenny's castle. But it was also overall fun and iconic, there being so many creative parts of Vanilla Dome. I also like how the map is designed and how it goes inside the mountain cave. Now, the fourth level of this game, being Twin Bridges, is pretty unmemorable for most people considering how short it is, but all the levels aside from the castle are all sky-based levels with great themes. Cheese Bridge area is one of the 3 secret levels to this world, but is clearly the best level for how fun it was. The basic premise of this level is to jump from 3 different platforms that constantly moved, so you could avoid saws that move along the pathway. It was a really fun level to play, and it was super creative, and due to this we got to see a lot more of these types of levels in later Sky Worlds in games like New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. Cookie Mountain was another great level, not because of the vibe or creativeness, but because of how hectic it was. A bunch of the moles constantly appearing while you try to clear the levels, pretty crazy. The boss castle itself was pretty creative section, with you having to use the screens to climb up and even going through a section with the spikes trying to crush you. So looking back, I can tell that what this section does not have for quantity makes up with quality, considering almost every level was unique. The fifth world of this game, aka Forest of Illusions, is an amazing section, with the world being a beautifully designed place. It's super creative, with the trees even having faces. I believe this is the best designed section of this game in terms of the world map. One of the more interesting things about the World 5 map is that when a new path opens, the trees actually disappear to form a path, which I thought was really cool. Levels here are designed very well, with really nice trees in the background, and enemies like the Wiggler being of note here. Some of my favorite levels are Forest of Illusions Level 4 and Forest Fortress, being very well designed and fun to play, while the Fortress being particularly amazing due to how vibrant it is and how tight some of the corridors are, even with all the enemies, like moving saws and fireballs. At the end of this section is Roy's Castle. Now, the fight was basic, but the level itself is iconic due to it being the moving platform, which we get to see in a lot of later games as well, like New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. This section of the game is probably my top 3 due to the aesthetic of it and how well designed it is. Now, for the sixth world, named Chocolate Island. More like Shit Island. Now, the first level was hilarious to me due to the dinosaurs that are in this level, named Dino Rhinos. Honestly, it fits perfect. I mean, bro, look at how ugly these guys are. It looks like a dino and a rhinoceros did a fusion dance, hence the name. When you stomp on it, it turns into a baby version of itself, which makes no sense whatsoever. Well, anyways, aside from Mr. Land Before Time head ass, the level is very well structured and wasn't too bad in my opinion. The next memorable level was hectic, with Ghost Larry following you while moving ghosts try to capture you along, with sections of the floor just like not existing and disappearing as the section goes by. It was hectic but fun. After some confusing pathways, we get to Chocolate Fortress, which is a great level with fireballs flying at you and even boiling pools of chocolate instead of lava. Let's be honest though, it looks like liquid shit. The final level is Wendy's Castle, which has a lot of moving objects like saws and skewers moving a lot. The fight was a bit interesting, but not as much as the next level. So this level, section, whatever you want to call it, it's definitely of note. It's the Sunken Ghost Ship. Honestly, it's a well thought out level and it's a pretty cool idea, but I gotta be honest, it was never my favorite level, but it's not bad either. Now, we can finally move on to the last section of this game, the Valley of Bowser. Honestly, I really like this section of the game. Not only is the castle well designed for the map, it's a really fun level in general. But before discussing that level, let's discuss Valley of Bowser level 2. This level is extremely annoying due to the middle section being just the slowest thing ever. I mean, look at this. These sand sections move slowly up and slowly down, and you have to go to the gaps in between the times where you're moving, or you get crushed. I swear I was on the verge of sleeping on this part. Anyways, after beating that level, the next one, Valley of Bowser 3, is a really fun one since the platforms have time limits to them and after they get deleted, which I thought was a really cool idea for a level since it gives you a sense of urgency. Now, to access the back door of the castle, you have to go through the Valley Fortress, which is just a bunch of skewers, but the actual back door level was fun with you having to utilize the light to see while dodging these wind-up toy enemies and these ninjas. The front door, however, is a series of multiple paths you can take to access the boss Bowser, which is one of the most iconic boss fights in the franchise. And then after you hear the dun da da dun da da da, you have beaten the game and finally rescued Peach. You can finally go get some rest after playing for a few hours. Huh? Oh wait, no, you can't, since we have the star levels! I hope you've been unlocking the secret levels along with the way, so you don't have to go all throughout the map to do so. Oh, wait, you didn't unlock them? Well, too bad. If you want to 100% this game like a true gamer, you have to. Now, for the Star Road, there aren't any super special things since they are just fun bonus levels, but one of the things is that there are baby Yoshis in almost every level. I mean, oh my god, just look at how cute they are. But don't feed them too much because they will grow up into the expendable Yoshis. So make sure to starve the children. Wait, hold on. Anyways, another level of note is the third one, which is the shortest level in Mario history to my knowledge. I mean, look at this. It's so small. 0. Some would say that's about average. You're right. It's about an average size level. Anyways, after you get to the secret exit of Star World 5, you can complete this world. The next section is called the Special World, with all the levels being made to be purely difficult and each having their own special names, being gnarly, tubular, way cool, awesome, groovy, mondo, outrageous, and funky. Keep in mind this game came out in 1990, so the words here start to make a little bit of sense. Now for the level gnarly, aside from some tricky platforming and it going up and down, which is a weird layout, it's just a normal level, but the next level, being tubular, it starts getting hard. In the level tubular, you have to fly in the sky using a pea balloon, which lets you float freely, but you have to dodge dozens of projectiles while also trying to get more pea balloons so you don't fall into the void like an idiot. Way too cool is the next one up, with it definitely being tricky, with you having to navigate the platform's direction with an on and off blocks, and then after using a moving rope to traverse across a horde of fuzzies, you can complete this level. This is one of my favorite special levels. Level Awesome isn't too notable aside from some tricky platforming and glass-like color palette. Level Groovy starts off easy, but then you have to dodge projectiles and make sure to navigate around the Pockeys properly, which can get a bit annoying if you rush it like an idiot. Level Mondo is annoying with an increasing and decreasing water tide along with dozens of Cheep Cheeps and even flying Hammer Bros. Level Outrageous is similar to a Forest of Illusions level, but instead of it being spring, it seems they're using fall trees instead. Aside from the design being interesting, the level is again pretty difficult with there being bullet bill shot everywhere and even flying Hammer Bros being common as well. Probably the most annoying level so far. The last level, Funky, was pretty underwhelming for a last level, but is by no means easy. Now, you have finally 100% completed the game, and you can finally rest. But not before liking and subscribing so you can watch more of my videos, and also make sure to check out my other videos. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and have a good day.